Teachers Association, we acknowledge the introduction of a new curriculum, and we are affirming the commitment of the teachers to the positive change, and we are further confirming our participation in the introduction of the curriculum 20 years ago. Now, having said that, what are the challenges that we have now come across, and which challenges we have always been putting across to government, and with very little listening that has been coming? Yes, they hear us, but they don't listen, and this is precisely what we are bringing to the nation today. We are saying there is everything wrong when you see a government program like curriculum implementation being driven by a political process, where we are saying this issue must have been driven by the administrative structures of government. Particularly when we look at education, we are talking about the Curriculum Development and Technical Services Unit should have been the responsible body that drives the curriculum implementation, because these are the technocrats, these are the people who are the executive, they execute government programs. And this is where we are seeing, in this case, provincial education directors, deputy directors, and district education inspectors being made redundant when we see the whole issue being run along with a political process. When you do that, you diminish the authority of a government program, and that authority is always resident in the structures that execute this task. And these are men and women with reasoned elaboration, which can be made to elaborate and explain the curriculum. But when you make them redundant, then you have no foot soldiers to explain that. This is where we are saying politicians must step back after having now announced the political process, announced the curricula as a broad policy. Then they leave the technocrats to do so. Then they will have advice. That's the approach that we have seen again has even opened up institutions like ZIMSEC to criticism, because this is where we find even ZIMSEC being thrown into the fray to implement a curriculum process, particularly when they do the continuous assessment module, which curriculum assessment module is not well refined. And like Raymond said, I agree with him, it has been rushed. We should have done a better scholastic review of the assessment process as we bring in the issues that he raised, particularly the issue of sending projects and tasks. Those are the issues which could have been neatened up. But you can see the confusion and the demand from the same body that they don't understand the essence of this continuous assessment. It will look like people were demanding tasks from every learning area, and that is impossible in this world. So we are therefore asking government to go back to the recommendations of the Nzira Masanga Commission, the CIAT report, which recommended that a professional body for implementing and monitoring and evaluating the curriculum must be put in place. That was out of wisdom, and that is an important practice that government and ministry should listen to. And having said that, obviously it takes me to the issue where we're looking at the issue of saying the concept that we should be addressing today is the issue of state-generated social capital. When we talk about that, we're saying now the state must support the vulnerable groups, particularly the disadvantaged communities, who are now being asked to go along with the new curriculum, but with very little resources, both in terms of infrastructure, in terms of family resources to support the education system, as opposed to some of the communities that we have. So the social capital in our area is disadvantaging the learners, and they are not being given equitable access to education by this varying access to resources that we have in the country. These are the issues we should do. Curriculum implementation depends mostly largely to the quality of teachers. So then, as a matter of policy, we should prepare our educators very well, in terms of knowledge and content of the subject, and also the pedagogical theory that they must do in executing the curriculum. These are some of the challenges that we now have to grapple with, and we are grappling with them under-resourced. And this is where the curriculum now is faltering, and we need to address those issues if it has got to pick up pace.